Good morning and welcome. My name is Tegan Moline and I serve on your Fellowship Board of Directors. I want to thank you all for being here today and extend a special welcome to any visitors. If you would like more information about the Fellowship, please visit the welcome table in the fireside room or sign our virtual guest book. You can find links for that at the end of our service because our website is currently under construction. So if you need to find things like Zoom link meetings and all of that, please refer to your weekly email. Whether joining us from home or here in Fellowship Hall, we invite you to stay after the service for a coffee fellowship where you can introduce yourself and join in conversation with kindred spirits. Last week, I made an announcement that there would be a sweet corn delivery. Sam has told me there is sweet corn. So if you requested sweet corn, please make sure you pick it up. Sam doesn't want to take it all home. So on behalf of this caring, nurturing congregation, I welcome each and every one of you to this sacred space. Here we invite you into an experience of transformation, hope, renewal, and connections which may inspire you to understand life in new ways. Thank you for joining us today.
We love the sound of the rain. Good morning. My name is Amy Slagle, and I serve as the current chair of the Sunday Services Committee here at the UUFA. We gather today on this last Sunday of a 7-week series of services developed, shepherded by members of this committee. We've connected with the Unitarian Universalist Association by participating in the service of the General Assembly. We benefited from guest speakers from the Ames community and from the UU community in Des Moines, and we've had messages grounded in the expertise and passions of our own members. And I am this morning just so grateful for this community of avid participants and for all the hands that make our Sunday services gathering, our Sunday gatherings possible. Our accompanists and musicians, our tech team, our members who prepare for and clean up after coffee and treats, those who share milestones both in this room and connected virtually, those who unlock the doors, prepare the room, put out your hymnals for you each week, who welcome people into this space, and our amazing office administrator who had all of our PowerPoints and orders of service for this summer series done by the end of June, which also was a lift of everybody who created a service during the month of July. It was really an amazing time. And Sunday services are, of course, just the tip of the iceberg for all of the ways that people contribute to this community, to the connections that are nurtured here to strengthen the work that we do in the world. I think we should give ourselves a round of applause. Well done. And I can't help myself but put in a plug. If you would wish to lend your expertise and creativity or ideas to the Sunday Services Committee, please join us in room 3 next Saturday morning. We meet there at least once a month at 10 a.m. and we are open to new contributions from the members of our committee. This morning, we light our chalice with these words from Eric Walker Wickstrom, the lead minister at Thomas Jefferson Memorial Church in Charlottesville, Virginia. Why we are here. Here today in this place with this people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel. May we feel so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way. Please rise in body or spirit to join in singing our opening hymn in the Gray Hymnal, 347. This is Gather the Spirit, a song of celebration. once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Thank you for welcoming our morning with such gusto. It has been a while since we've had the voice of the amazing Leah Morris in our service. I chose this story and song about listening for our time for all ages, the cricket and the coin.
Let me tell you about the cricket and the coin. One day, a pair of cousins were taking a walk down a busy city street. Now, one of the cousins was what you would call a city slicker, someone who lived in and was used to the urban lifestyle. The other cousin was what some people refer to as a country bumpkin, someone who was more accustomed to the rural countryside way of living. But on this day, they found themselves together in a city. And as they were walking, if you've ever been in a city, you know the sounds, the sights, the impressions that are constantly bombarding the senses. It's a loud and exciting place to be. Horns blaring, people shouting, construction taking place. And amidst all of that bustle, the country cousin said, "Is that? Ha! Do you hear that? A cricket." The city cousin said, "No, cuz, no way. Listen, there's no way there are any crickets anywhere within a 20-mile radius of here. And even if there were, there's no way you could hear it over all the noise." The country cousin said, No, I hear it. There's definitely a cricket." And wouldn't you know, within a minute of continuing their walk, they found one of the few plants that was growing in the city, and there on its leaf was a little cricket singing its song. The city cousin was admittedly impressed and said, "Wow, you know, this just goes to show you country people have great sense of hearing." But the country cousin wasn't so convinced. As a matter of fact, they thought it would be a good idea to launch an experiment to find out if it was really a matter of country people having better hearing. And so they pulled their change purse out and dropped a few coins on the sidewalk. The heads of every passerby turned toward the sound of the fallen coins. This story illustrates that we are more likely to notice things that we're used to noticing. So it's a good idea to pay attention to where we pay attention, to focus our intention and choose where we place our focus. And this story inspired this song. Are you listening to the falling breeze? Are you listening to the calling trees? Are you listening? What it is? Are you listening to the water dry? Are you listening to the
Thanks for coming up. As we move into our time of search, listening to one another to hear ideas sprouting and vision becoming, all while being mindful that our own context and life experience can affect what we hear, is a really helpful message. Thanks, Leah. Our reading today is Step Zero, not the first step, before the first step. Step Zero by Reverend Gretchen Haley, one of the ministers serving the Foothills Unitarian Church in Fort Collins, Colorado. And it seems a perfect fit as we enjoy these waning days of summer and look toward a new church year. If you had the chance to start again, to make your life from scratch, to decide what sort of person you would be, who you would love, and the content of your days, your hours, what songs would you sing to yourself or with others? What prayers would you let fall from your lips, urgently and with praise, with mercy or hope? What blessings would you name and share with strangers and friends? If you could take now that first step, what journey would you begin? Across deserts or mountains, or would you take to the sky, which, despite the bitter cold, is still vast and filled with light? What work would you take? What mischief would you make with boldness and bravery? What failure would you embrace? And what would you release? And where, in the end, would you return and call home? In this new day on the brink of a new year, no magic wishing or wondering is required, for such a chance is always available, as with the in and out of our breath. To begin now to live like we mean it, to see with new eyes the life that is already and always available, to respond to this gift with wonder and gratitude, to join in this partnership, to tend this flame, even when it breaks our heart, to keep showing up and to go with courage into this dawning day. Amen. Sue Kierson will now share a message from the Generosity team.
This morning, I want to tell you a few things about the Generosity team, because our big season is right around the corner, and because I think we work hard to be open to this new beginning most every time we get together. So I have written my teammates a letter, and I'm going to read it to you. My dearest Generosity team, you've changed my life, you know. After 5 years together, we know each other's idiosyncrasies, and we've adapted to them in the best possible way. I love the fact that each of you brings a unique personal style and all kinds of talents, and that we get to use all of those in our work. So here we are, responsible for raising enough money to sustain our community and to fund our vision, a tall order. Especially because I don't think any of us even likes talking about money. But talking about generosity, I guess that's what turned us on from the beginning. Sam Wormley, I know that's why you were the first one to step up to leadership of this new group intended to do stewardship in a new way. And before I realized it, you had convinced me that I too wanted to be a leader. And together we said, this team needs some younger people. Molly Helmers, I guess you were 5 years old. I guess you are 5 years older than you used to be. And happily, you are that much more clear about our vision to create a culture of generosity and how to communicate around that goal. As it turns out, Molly, I don't know anyone else who can come to a meeting in a kind of bad mood after a hard day. Warm up to the agenda, offer great ideas, support the team, and leave transformed. David, I'm always amazed at your creativity with songs and words and your passion for UU values and for inspiring other people and for your persistence. I don't think we'd ever have gotten to sustaining giving without that. Kitty, thank you for always bringing ideas and always bringing UUFA history that informs our work even now. Melissa, I loved your response when I invited you to join the generosity team. As I recall, I know she's here. Yes, I think I can do that if I don't have to make phone calls. I hate making phone calls, which no doubt led to my rule that no one on our team has to do anything they hate doing. Bradley, as our team support staff, you turn our planning work into a beautiful reality and give us the confidence to continue the work and the nerve to think of ourselves as pretty darn clever and quite well organized. To each of you team members, thank you for your willingness to wrestle with the hard questions, the ones that matter to our future, such as how do we help our members and friends and ourselves think of giving as a spiritual practice? How much should we talk about volunteering time and skills versus talking about money, since both are critical? How can we be sensitive to each person's ability to give while encouraging those who can to contribute more? Thank you too for being open to doing things differently as our world evolves and our opportunities expand. You know, those so-called pledge letters are now short email messages with an easy response. Sustaining giving formalizes an ongoing commitment year after year. Online giving is now a thing at the fellowship, and so is our ability to make videos and to realize their value. And this might be my very favorite evidence of open to new ideas. A discussion last month about the potential of ChatGPT and the pros and cons of its becoming a new member of the generosity team. Lastly, and only because I don't have time to say more, thank you, Sam, Molly, David, Kitty, and Melissa, now moving on to the search committee, for your unwavering commitment to this fellowship's very existence and your confidence in our future. You are a group that takes to heart the challenge of what a new beginning looks like, and as we just heard, to see with new eyes the life that is already and always available. In gratitude and love, Sue. Now it's time for the offering. It's a new month, so we have a new offering recipient. Please know that this morning, half of the non-pledge offering will be donated to the Ames Community School District's Lunch Hero program. This program is a resource available to students across the district paying down negative balance lunch accounts. The other half of the offering will support programs here in our fellowship that make this a community of transformation. In Fellowship Hall, we'll pass the basket. Someone will. And for those at home, you can visit uufames.square.site. You can still contribute online, even though our website is in progress. If you are visiting today, please know that your presence here is gift enough. While the baskets are being passed, we'll hear a special rendition of the Mamuse song, "We Shall Be Known." Please feel free to join in.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle around to tenderly spy. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds to change the life from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive in this great turning. We shall love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these vines. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these vines. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now, it is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.
It's one of the many gifts that came out of our time in COVID, is having the opportunity to see such groups share their gifts of music. Each week, we take time in our service to mark the milestones of our lives. If you have a joy or sorrow to share today, I invite those who are here in Fellowship Hall to come to the microphone and state your name and share your milestone, and I will light a candle for you. For those joining us online, will we be able to hear milestones today? Thank you. We'll let you know when we're ready for you to unmute and share a milestone today. This is our time of sharing. Then I will light a candle for community. I will light one to acknowledge the end of our summer series of services. And I guess in hope of next week, a return of our interim minister and the arrival of our new RE director. And one final candle for those milestones left unspoken today. I invite us to carry the warmth and care of this community with us throughout the days and weeks ahead. With these words from Maya Angelou, I invite us into a moment of silence that will be followed by singing of the Spirit of Life. Lying, thinking last night how to find my soul a home where water is not thirsty and bread loaf is not stone. I came up with one thing, and I don't believe I'm wrong, that nobody but nobody can make it out here alone. At this time, I'd like to invite the members of the Ministerial Search Committee to come forward to the blue carpet, face the congregation, and invite UUFA President Jamie Gerganis and Board Member Tegan Woleen to the platform for the commissioning.
All right, hello, everybody. So last April, we held a special congregational meeting in which the entire congregation voted to approve the slate of candidates that the board presented to be on the Ministerial Search Committee.
In case you haven't met them, they are Amber Anderson, Christopher Chase, Carol Crosby, Dan Howe, Melissa Neeson, Susan Norris, and Robin Sin.
Our committee has been meeting over the summer and reading a very large handbook from the Unitarian Universalist Association about the search process. Yesterday, we held an all-day retreat to write a covenant and work with the trainer from the UUA. This fall, we will be asking you to participate in a survey and attend focus group sessions so that this committee can better understand the changing nature of the congregation and what we need from a new minister. You will also be invited to attend a workshop with a facilitator from the UUA to reflect on how we can live into our 8th principle during the search and hiring process.
So as this committee begins their work, let's take a moment to reflect on the seriousness of the task that we've entrusted them to do by formally commissioning them this morning.
Selecting a settled minister is an important moment in the life of a congregation. We entrust you to the task of vetting, interviewing, and selecting the right candidate to represent to the congregation. Search Committee, do you pledge to earn and maintain the trust of the congregation? We do. However, we don't just choose a minister. A minister needs to choose us. For that to happen, we need you to communicate what we value about this community. We also need you to be honest in representing our expectations, needs, and disagreements so that choice is not regretted later. Search Committee, do you pledge to represent our congregation well when dealing with ministerial candidates?
We do.
So ultimately, the congregation selects the minister at a special congregational meeting. And our bylaws state that an affirmative vote of at least 85% of the quorum at this meeting has to happen for that to occur. So to ensure that the congregation is prepared to be able to make this decision of who you propose to us, Search Committee, do you pledge to listen to and engage the entire congregation during this process?
We do.
Members and friends of this congregation, do you pledge to support this committee by providing thoughtful and timely feedback? If so, please say, we do. We do.
Okay. So Ministerial Search Committee, thank you so much for agreeing to serve on this very important committee for the Unitarian Fellowship of Ames. Thank you.
Thank you, committee members. I now invite us to rise in body or spirit to sing song 1023 in the Green Book. The song is Building Bridges. And as a symbol of how all of us are needed to build this bridge to the future with our next settled minister, we are going to do it as a round. We will sing it together once to remind ourselves or to learn it. It is short. And then we'll do it at least twice as a round, more if the Spirit moves us. Please rise.
Building bridges is free motivation. sweet harmony.
Our brief message this morning comes from the 30 Days of Love resources of the Unitarian Universalist Association. It is essentially a grounding activity. Times of transition can create stress, and this is an opportunity to reflect at these moments of intersection and to ground ourselves in gratitude. So I invite everyone to settle into your seats and be mindful of your attention as we prepare to breathe together with intention. The speaker is Reverend Lynn Gardner, the co-minister for the UU Society of Schenectady, New York.
Hi, I'm Reverend Lynn Gardner. My pronouns are either she or they. Before going to seminary, I had the good fortune to work for 20 years as a child care provider, caring for young children and their families. There is a lot of attention in the early years of a child's life devoted to learning the names of things. Finger, thumb, head, shoulders, arm, mountain, valley, ocean, river, me, you. We may be less likely to teach or learn the names of the parts and places that are intersections, that are not exactly this or that, but are something also powerful and precious, a both and. In justice work, we know that issues are never just one thing, that our commitments to different issues intersect and can support each other. Likewise, our families, congregations, and communities are strengthened by our array of intersecting identities. So today, wherever you find yourself, I invite you into a time of grounding, inviting all of who you are into this moment. Placing your feet on or toward the floor, let us ground in gratitude for the earth, for the mountains, valleys, caves, rivers, oceans, lakes, deserts, glaciers, and plains, and for the amazing ecosystems and species that are supported in between, on beaches, at confluences, estuaries, canyons, marshes, and more. For all the places on this beautiful earth that we can name, and for those we cannot, we give thanks. And moving into a gesture of care and connection for your body, let us ground in gratitude for the gift of being human at this time, with whatever beautiful, complicated relationship you might have with your body and the bodies of those with whom you are most connected. We give thanks for our skin, for our muscles and bones, for our hearts and our own steady and tender rhythms, for our lungs and the gift of our next breath. We give thanks for the parts of our bodies that we can name and the parts that we may not know a word for, like the curlicue, the intersection of the index finger and the thumb. There are so many parts for which we cannot name, yet are intersections that hold us together and that are precious in their own rightly being. As we receive another breath, Let us offer thanks for all the beings that our breath connects us to. Let our breath be a reminder of all the intersections between me and you. Intersections with redwoods and plankton, hummingbirds and coyotes. With our next inhalation, we ground in gratitude for our ancestors, and we exhale with hope for the well-being of generations to come. And we close with gratitude for all that is possible at the powerful and precious intersections of creative and courageous collaboration when we are grounded in love. May it be so for each and all.
As we embrace this time and engage in the search process, may we remain grounded in gratitude for our ancestors, for the founders of this community and this space, for all that is possible when we bring ourselves fully here. As we look ahead to the search and to the new search year from a place of gratitude and of connection with one another through our engagement with the committees and groups that move the vision of this community, not only for this space, but for the community in which we find ourselves. Let's think again about the questions that Reverend Haley asked, slightly modified. If we had the chance to start again, to make our life from scratch, to decide what sort of people we would be, what songs would we sing? What prayers would we let fall from our lips? What blessings would we name and share with strangers and friends? What work would we take? What mischief will we make? And where in the end will we return to call home? We are ever and always able to begin again and to live life like we mean it, to see life with new eyes and to respond to the gift of life and of community and connection with wonder and gratitude. We're invited to join in this partnership and to tend this flame. I invite us to rise in body or spirit to join in singing one of my favorites, The Fire of Commitment. With joy and energy, it says at the top of the page. It is a song that requires lots of breath. We'll get better at singing the chorus. We get to do it 3 times. Please rise. From the light of days remembered brings a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our minds and soul ablaze, when our hunger and devotion leads and calls on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From Amen, amen. This is such a community of promise. Thank you, Amber. As we journey together, let us remain grounded in gratitude for the connections and meanings we make in this community that strengthen us to speak with a prophetic voice, to make courageous choices. Our closing words today come from Jan Phillips. We are attendants at the wake of the old way, and each of us, through our actions, our thoughts, our work, and relationships, is midwifing a new world into existence. This is our destiny, our meaning, our purpose, and when we come to our days with this awareness, when we fully wake up to this tremendous privilege, when we sense the oak in the acorn of our beings, then we will have the energy to move mountains and shift the tides. It is an illusion that we are powerless. It is an illusion that someone else is responsible. We are the people, and this is our world. Gentle people, go in peace and embrace one another during our time of coffee and fellowship this morning. Thanks for being here.